Gopi Gita, the Gopi song of separation. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 31, with commentary by Srimad Bhaktivedanta and Narayana Gosvami Maharaja. Excerpt from verse 7. We see that your lotus feet follow the cows as they run over the mountains to graze. They wander where there are grass shoots, edges of dry grains, and small sharp stones. Yet your lotus feet feel very happy there. Why then are you not able to place those lotus feet on our breasts, which are not nearly as rough and as hard as those stones? Verse 7. praṇatadēhināṃ pāpakarśanaṃ tṛṇacarānugan śrīnikētanam फणिफणार्पितं ते पदाम्बुजम् कृणुकुचेषुना कृन्धिहृच्छयम्. Translation. Your lotus feet remove all the past sins of embodied beings who surrender to them, and they chase after the cows and calves that graze in the pastures. Those lotus feet are the abode of Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of wealth and beauty, and you place them even upon the hoods of a serpent or kalya. Please place those very lotus feet upon our breasts and subdue our sufferings that have arisen from the lust in our hearts. praṇatadēhināṃ pāpakarśanaṃ. Pranat means surrendered. Dehinam refers to the living entities in the material bodies, and pāpakarśanaṃ means removal of sinful reactions. The gopis tell Sri Krishna, your lotus feet remove all kinds of sinful reactions for those embodied beings who are surrendered to them. Again and again, they glorify the virtues of his lotus feet. tṛṇacarānugan. Tṛṇacara refers to the cows and all other animals that graze on grass, and anuga means following. The gopis say, your feet always follow behind the cows. śrīnikētanam. Shri means beauty, and it also refers to Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. In this way, the gopis' statement has two meanings. Your feet are exquisitely beautiful, and your feet are the abode or niketan of Shri or Lakshmi. She perpetually resides at your lotus feet and never leaves them. Fani-fanarpitam te padambujam. Fani refers to creatures with hoods or fana. Here, Fani particularly refers to the hooded serpent Kalya. Arpitam means placed, and te padambujam refers to Sri Krishna's lotus feet. The gopis say, you placed your lotus feet on the hoods of that serpent. Kriṇukucheshuna krindhi hrichayam. Krinu means keep. Krindhi means cut away. Kucheshu means breasts. And na hrichayam refers to the disease of kama in the gopis' heart. The gopis pray, please place your lotus feet on our hearts and thus destroy our heart disease of kama. Ordinary people imagine the gopis' appeal to be born of mundane lust, and for this reason, Srila Vishvanatha Chakravarti Thakur eulogizes the divine nature of their immaculate love. Even a sadhaka who has attained the platform of a Madhyam Uttamadhikari has no such lust. What to speak of someone who has attained Swarupa Siddhi, and thus realization of his eternal spiritual form. If someone has attained Vastu Siddhi or one's own spiritual form, and thus complete liberation from matter, not a slightest trace of lust can be found in him. Lust is a desire for one's own happiness, and the gopis do not have a trace of such desire. Their attachment to Krishna is called samartharati, which means that, due to its total selflessness, it is fully capable of controlling him. Rati, attachment to Sri Krishna, is of three kinds: Sadharani, Samanjasa, and Samartha. Sadharani Rati is attachment to Krishna for one's own enjoyment, and Srila Rupa Goswami has accepted the hunchback Kubja as the only example of this Rati. The moment Kubja saw Krishna, Sadharani Rati entered her heart. She desired to enjoy Krishna, not to give him enjoyment, and this was the defect of her Rati. Still, her lust was for Krishna alone, not for King Kamsa or anyone else. Samanjasa Rati is found in the queens of Dwarika, such as Satyabhama and Rukmani. Those imbued with Samanjasa Rati may also occasionally desire their own happiness, but this is rare. A mood of service to Krishna prevails. Their desire for their own happiness has no connection with material happiness. Sometimes the attachment is for Krishna alone, and sometimes it is divided among many. The queens feel affection for Krishna and also for their children. Each queen has 10 sons and 1 daughter, so their love is divided among 12. Their love is further divided because they also have affection for all the members of their household, including their maidservants. Krishna may be controlled by this type of rati, or he may not. It depends on the circumstances. Ultimately, however, he is not controlled by it. The gopis' prema is samartharati, and this rati is found only in Vraja. Samartha means powerful and competent, which indicates that this rati surely controls Krishna in every respect. The gopis are selfless to the utmost degree and endowed with this pure prema. They never think about how they can be relieved of their own sorrow, nor do they worry for their personal happiness. They only want Krishna's happiness, and that is why he is fully controlled by them. The gopis are Mahapremavati, which means that they are situated in the highest stages of Mahabhava. Mahabhava is the highest stage of prema. It follows the stages of Sneha, Man, Pranay, Rag and Anurag, and manifests when Anurag reaches a special state of intensity. When Anurag reaches the highest limit and becomes perceivable in the body, it is called Bhava. When the bodily symptoms are not very distinct, however, the emotional state is still called Anuraga, not Bhava. When the ecstasy of Bhava is intensified, it is called Mahabhava. The symptoms of Mahabhava are visible only in the bodies of eternal associates like the gopis. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 6:13, purport by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. Radhika, who is eternally situated in Madanakhya Mahabhava, the pinnacle of selfless, ecstatic prema, and who is one of the gopis speaking this verse. What to speak of the gopis, even the Swarupa Siddhi devotee who is situated on the level of Bhava Bhakti and who has realization of his eternal form has no lust, although he does not have the sense of intense possessiveness for Krishna that the gopis have. He does not have even a scent of lust. Most devotees in the world practice bhakti because, in the core of their heart, they see it as a means to attain their own happiness and avoid distress. It is rare to find someone who only wants Sri Krishna's happiness. Only the Uttamadhikari, like Sri Prahlad Maharaj, has love of this caliber. Prahlad's father, Hiranyakashipu, cruelly tormented him because of his devotion. Still, he never prayed, "Please God, remove my distress. Please make me happy." If Prahlad did not do this, then what to speak of the gopis, who do not have the slightest sense of desire to be free from distress and to taste their own happiness. They do not even desire to personally enjoy their loving relationship with Krishna. It is stated in the 8th verse of Sri Shiksha Ashtakam. Ashlishya va padaratam pinashtumam adarshanan marmahatam karotuva yatha tatha va vidhatu lampato mat praṇatadēhināṃ saiv napara. Let Krishna tightly embrace this maidservant who has fallen at this lotus feet, or let him trample me or break my heart by never being visible to me. He is a debauchee, after all, and he may do whatever he likes. Still, he alone and no one else is the worshipful Lord of my heart. Srimati Radhika thinks in this way. I know that Krishna is a debauchee and that sometimes he wants to meet with other gopis. Despite this, I want only his pleasure. I don't want my own. If he hankers to reside in Mathura or Dwaraka with his lady friends, he is perfectly free to do so. If I come to know that he desires to enjoy with a particular Sakhi, I will go to her, serve her, and beg her to meet with him. If he crushes me with his feet, I will not ask him why he is doing so. And if he becomes pleased by embracing me, I will also become pleased. Everyone says that he is a debauchee and a cheat. Nonetheless, I will always seek his happiness alone. Srimati Radhika and the gopis are beyond even the level of their Uttama Bhakti, whose qualities are defined in the following two verses. Anya vancha anya puja chhadi jnana karma anukulyel sarvindriye Krishna anushilanam. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 19.168. A pure devotee must not cherish any desire other than to serve Krishna. He should not worship to the demigods or to the mundane personalities. He should not cultivate artificial knowledge, which is devoid of Krishna consciousness. And he should not engage himself in anything other than Krishna consciousness activities. One must engage all one's purified senses in the service of the Lord. This is the favorable execution of Krishna conscious activities. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita states, Anukulya Sarvendriya Krishna Anushilan. When one serves Krishna favorably with all his senses, that service is called bhakti. Annabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam bhaktir uttama. Sri Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.1.11. Uttama Bhakti is defined by the words Anushilanam, which means service to Sri Krishna with one's body, mind, senses, words, intelligence, and all the sentiments of the soul. An elevated devotee entertains nothing that is detrimental to the development of his bhakti. Rather, his practices are exclusively favorable. Furthermore, his bhakti is continuous, performed without interruption, and is discharged under the guidance of a qualified Guru and Rasik Vaishnava. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. It is not tinged by the impersonal knowledge or jnana, or fruitive activity or karma. And it is devoid of any desire other than to please Sri Krishna. annabhilashita shunyam. When all these symptoms are present, that is called uttama bhakti. As mentioned above, the gopis are not classified as uttam bhaktas, even though they have all the qualities of an uttam bhakta. They are the bodily expansions or kaya vyuha rupa of Srimati Radhika, who is the personification of Krishna's pleasure-giving potency or ahladini shakti. The Vraja maidens singing Gopi Gita most expertly reveal their youthful beauty and the pain of their separation from Krishna, with the hope of arousing his desire to taste the bliss of Surata. Because they know what he desires, they wish to inspire this in his heart by all the activities of their body, mind, and words. It is only for this reason that they sing their Gopi Gita. How do they know his desires? They heard his flute song. Verse 10:29-1 of Srimad Bhagavatam states, Shri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full in all opulences, yet upon seeing those autumn nights scented with the blossoming jasmine flowers, he turned his mind toward loving affairs. To fulfill his purpose, he resorted his internal potency. In the second verse of Gopi Gita, the gopis addressed Sri Krishna as Suratnatha because he had begged them for the treasure of amorous pastimes. He had a taste for Surata, and in order to satisfy that taste, he made up his mind to enjoy sweet pastimes with them. He wants this because he thinks that the gopis want it, and the gopis want it because he wants it. Krishna and the gopis try to please each other. The gopis long to awaken in Sri Krishna's heart the desire for the happiness of Surata, so that he will enjoy with them. How did Krishna know the gopis' desires? In the previous year, the unmarried gopis had performed austerities and worshipped the goddess Katyayani Devi in an effort to attain him as their husband. And the married gopis like Srimati Radhika and her Sakhis had joined them in the last day of their worship. At that time, Krishna showed his eagerness and promised that he would fulfill their desires during the following year. 1 year later, the gopis heard Krishna calling them to him by the melody of his flute. Before leaving their home, they made themselves look like still more beautiful, desiring that he be controlled by their beauty. This is a symptom of their rati. Every aspect of their being, their form, youth, beauty, qualities, and desires exists only to inspire Surata in Krishna's heart. They intentionally made themselves more beautiful, knowing that Krishna would be controlled by their splendidly attractive appearance. They put an earring on one of their ears, but not the other, and they put kajal on one eye instead of two, knowing that it looks more sweet. This is a symptom of their rati. In this way, fully aware of Krishna's specific desires, the gopis enhance their charming beauty. They know the art of understanding and fulfilling his desires. And Srila Rupa Goswami also knows this art. Neophyte devotees, having no idea about the reality of this topic, can only repeat the subject matter like parrots. Now, in the verse of Gopi Gita, the gopis again exhibit their ability to realize and fulfill Krishna's desires. They openly beseech him, "Please place your lotus feet on our breasts." Loving feelings and desires should not be spoken directly, and Srila Vishvanatha Chakravarti Thakur illustrates this point with an example. Suppose a man receives a visit from his friend and, in the happiness of wanting to welcome him, says, "Oh my friend, now that you have come here, I am going to purchase some ingredients to make you a delicious meal of rasmalai, malpua and other delicacies." "No, no," his friend replies. "There is no need for you to do that." But the host insists, I know that you are particularly fond of these delicacies, so I must prepare them for you. The host's expression of affection in this way only serves to reduce his love for his friend. Similarly, if the gopis were to say, "We know that you want to enjoy sweet pastimes with us, and we want to quench your thirst for this enjoyment," their prema would be diminished. They do not verbalize their feelings, and thus their prema is never reduced. Notwithstanding, because of their love is absolutely selfless, even if they were to verbalize their feelings in such a way, still their prema would not be diminished. The gopis are so clever in prema that they are able to defeat Krishna. He cannot imagine the moods hidden in their hearts, and it is for this reason that he left Rasa Leela and followed them as they searched for him. He had left them only to hear them weep and express their feelings. When a devotee has the desire to serve Krishna, Krishna has the desire to receive that service. First, the gopis desire to serve him, and from this comes his appetite to be served. The root cause of the reciprocal exchanges in the gopis' predisposition to serve. An idea comes into their minds. Then, just like a sprout appearing from a seed, both Krishna and the gopis come to know each other's desire and want to serve each other. Srila Rupa Goswami explains this topic in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, and Srila Vishvanatha Chakravarti also mentions it in his commentary. The desire to serve first comes in the heart of the heroine, but she does not openly express herself. Krishna, the hero, knows her desire by her behavior, by her mood, or by an indication or sign. He can then speak openly, which arouses more longing in the heroine. In this verse of Gopi Gita, the gopis appear to speak openly, but in fact their deep moods are hidden. Srimati Radhika is the full feature of Ahladani Shakti, and the gopis are the bodily manifestations of Ahladani Shakti. Thus, they are extremely clever in loving matters. Krishna is also highly proficient in loving matters, but the gopis and especially Srimati Radhika are much more expert than he is. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 4:1-4, Krishna has admitted that Radhika is his Prema Guru. Radhikar Prema Guru, Ami Shishyanata, Sada Ama Nana Nritye Nachay Udbhat. The love of Radhika is my teacher, and I am her dancing pupil. Her prema makes me dance various noble dances. In this connection, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 4:1-5 and Govind Leela Amrit 877 record the following conversation that took place between Srimati Radhika and her friend Vrinda. "Oh, my beloved friend Vrinda, where are you coming from?" "I'm coming from the feet of Sri Hari." "Where is he?" "In the forest on the bank of Radha Kunda." "What is he doing there?" "He's learning dancing." "Who is the master?" "Your image, Radha, revealing itself in every tree and creeper, in every direction, is roaming like a skillful dancer, making him dance behind." Srimati Radhika and the gopis are more accomplished and clever in expressing their prema than Sri Krishna is, and they employ many tricks and skills to satisfy his appetite for loving exchanges. Thus, when they call him, "Please place your lotus feet on our breasts," their prema does not lessen. We previously explained Sri Chakravarti Thakur's statement that someone who directly expresses his feeling by saying, "I love you," for example, exposes that his love is of an inferior quality. Worldly people may express themselves openly like this, but those who are immersed in transcendental love never speak in this way. The lover should inherently know that his beloved is full of love for him. Krishna knows that the gopis love him. This is revealed at the end of Gopi Gita. when he will again appear to them and say, I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service. Even within a lifetime of Brahma, your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:32-22. When the gopis hear this form, Krishna, they will ask him, why do you remain indebted to us? Just give us what we want, and your debt will be cleared. When Putana tried to kill you by putting poison on her breast, you gave her liberation and a position like that of your mother. In the same way, you should also reward us accordingly. However, Krishna will reply that this is impossible. Why is it not possible for him to repay the gopis? In some instances, prema is split among many, and the other instances, it is fixed on one object only. Here, Krishna means to say, my prema is divided not just into millions of parts, but into uncountable parts. I have many types of devotees: Jnani Bhaktas, Shuddha Bhaktas, Rasika Bhaktas, Premi Bhaktas, fathers, mothers, sakhas and sakhis. I cannot neglect any of them, even for Srimati Radhika, who is superior to them all. I must ride the chariot of Arjuna and give my association to Bhishma and Prahalada. My love is divided into many fractions, but your love for me is one-pointed. You give all your love to me, and there is none left for your children or husbands, what to speak of the others, because you do not love anyone but me. I will always be indebted to you, even if I were to offer you a boon. I know that you would only ask to be able to render more service to me, and this would only increase my debt to you. For this reason, I will not be able to repay you in millions of births. One should try to love Krishna as the gopis do, desiring nothing for oneself. We have just explained a confidential discussion that will take place between the gopis and Krishna in the next chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, when Krishna will again appear to them. And now we are returning to this chapter. Having left the gopis so that he would be able to hear their expressions of pure love in separation from him, Krishna is now conversing with them in their hearts. There are many hidden meanings to their loving words, and they will be explained gradually. The clever gopis say, please place your lotus feet on our breasts. Krishna replies, this would be sinful. No one should act in this way. The very principle of religion or dharma emanates from me and follows me. Satyasha yonim nihitam cha satye. All truths come directly from me and lives in me. Moreover, I am the presiding deity and personification of truth. So, I cannot possibly perform any sinful act. If I act in an irreligious manner, others will do the same. Yadyat acharati shreshthas tattadevaitaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartite. Srimad Bhagavad Gita 3:21. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. Anticipating Krishna's statement, the gopis rely with the words praṇatadēhināṃ, pāpakarśanaṃ. They say, anyone who remembers you by taking shelter of your name and pastimes very easily becomes free from all sins. It has been stated several times in Srimad Bhagavatam that one becomes free from the reaction to every kind of transgression just by chanting Krishna's name. And we see this in the histories of Ajamil and of Jagai and Madhai. The gopis continue, one becomes free from sin simply by chanting your name. So what benefit awaits one who takes shelter of your lotus feet? If a person touches your lotus feet, not a trace of vice can remain in him. Therefore, because we have surrendered to those lotus feet, we are without a trace of sin. That sin will come upon me, Krishna says. The gopis reply, if you touch with your lotus feet any corrupt person, he becomes completely free from all the sin. So how is it possible that our sin will enter you? It is sometimes said that a bona fide guru has to suffer the reactions of his disciples' sin. What then would happen if he has hundreds and thousands of disciples? Will he then drown in the ocean of sin? Actually, if that guru possesses the qualifications of a genuine guru, this could not happen. Not even a trace of sin can come within the proximity of a pure, self-realized guru. On the contrary, if a disciple simply remembers his Gurudeva's lotus feet, all of that disciple's sin and the reactions to those sins are burned. No trace of sin remains in him, and all good qualities manifest in him. Even if the disciple does not remember and follow his Gurudeva perfectly, his sins dissolve if his Gurudeva simply wishes them to be eradicated. But for this to be possible, his Guru must be fully qualified. Just as no sin can touch Krishna's pure representative, no sin can touch Krishna. Now, hearing the gopis reply that it is not possible for any sin or impurity to touch him, he puts forward another playful argument. Your breasts are so hard, he says, I hesitate to place my soft lotus feet there. The gopis respond with the words tṛṇacarānugan. Tṛṇacara refers to those who graze on grass. In this context, he refers specifically to cows that graze on mountain grass, and where the earth is hard and full of stones and other sharp objects. You are correct. The gopis reply, in comparison to your lotus feet, our breasts are certainly hard. But we see that your lotus feet follow the cows as they run over the mountains to graze. They wander where there are grass shoots, edges of dry grains, and small sharp stones. Yet your lotus feet feel very happy there. Why then are you not able to place your lotus feet on our breasts, which are not nearly as rough and hard as those stones? We think you are only pretending. Krishna may then offer another argument. Your hearts contain many sinful qualities, such as malice, the desire for sensual enjoyment, and so on. By my touching your bodies, these faults will be immediately transferred to me. Krishna's arguments are only a pretense so as to hear more charming words of affection from the lotus lips of the gopis. But it is certainly true of this world that by one's physical proximity to sinful persons, one may become contaminated by their qualities, just as virtues come by good association, immorality and corruption are transmitted by bad association or kusanga. Disease, for example, is carried by air and water. If we sit with someone who has a contagious disease like cholera, we may catch that disease from his breath. One may also contract some disease simply by bathing in the same place in which a contagious person bathed. Similarly, all qualities favorable for the development of bhakti increase automatically in one who takes the association of saintly devotees or sadhu sangha, and everything detrimental to bhakti comes automatically by unfavorable association. In this world, if someone touches another person's feet, his vices are transferred to the person he touches. A second or third class Vaishnav whose bhakti is not so advanced will receive the faults and sinful reactions of the person who puts his head at his feet or touches his feet. On the other hand, as we mentioned earlier, if the Vaishnava is an Uttam Bhakta, this will not happen. Rather, that perfect Vaishnava will reform the person who touches his feet. If an ordinary person takes the prasadam, remnants of a neophyte, Vaishnava, that person will imbibe the Vaishnava's qualities, and the neophyte Vaishnava will imbibe that person's bad qualities. Again, in relation to the pure Vaishnava, that does not apply. In this regard, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada tells a story of a man drowning in a deep river. The man was crying out, "Save me, save me," but no boat was in sight. Another man, standing on the river bank, was watching him and thinking, "I cannot swim. If I try to rescue him, he will catch hold of me and I will drown before he does." The import is that the neophyte devotee who is in the role of Guru should be merciful to sense enjoyers and try to attract them to the path of bhakti, but very skillfully. If he is not careful, both Guru and the disciple will drown. First the Guru will drown and then the disciple. One may argue that a disciple is already a recipient of Guru's mercy. So why must the Guru be affected if the disciple takes his remnants? Yet, Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami and all of our acharyas have said that to give Diksha initiation to unqualified persons is namaparadha. The scriptures state, "Do not accept unqualified disciples." Now, in Shri Krishna's loving conversation with the gopis, he may argue, "You have no wisdom, intelligence or discrimination. So, I cannot place my feet on your breasts. It is inappropriate for me to even associate with you, ignorant girls." In this regard, Srila Jiva Gosvami gives an additional meaning to the words tṛṇacarānugan. Tṛṇacara refers to the cows and other animals that have little or no wisdom. If cows are offered high quality sweets like rasagulla and rabdi, they will smell them and then leave them alone. But they always like to eat grass, even if it is dry. If cows or other animals are given grass, on their way to the slaughterhouse, they quarrel among themselves for it. Unaware of their imminent slaughter, they squabble with each other over some insignificant grass, while doing nothing to save themselves. Thus, when the gopis utter the words tṛṇacarānugan, their retort also has this meaning. "We know that we are foolish," they say, "but we are not as foolish as the cows who do not know the difference between grass and tasty edibles. We may be ignorant to some extent, but we are more qualified than they are. You follow the cows, so what is the harm in your following us and placing your lotus feet on our breasts?" The gopis' mood is so deep that they weep as they speak, whereas we simply hear their words and smile. We are unable to perceive their pain and separation from Krishna. We can intellectually understand their logic and arguments to a small degree, but we lack spiritual sensitivity to perceive the depth of their emotions. We cannot actually comprehend the exchange of moods between the gopis and Krishna as they converse. Still, even though we lack realization, if we continue to do anushilan, that is, reading and hearing under the guidance of a qualified Tattvagyan Rasik Guru, one day we will certainly acquire taste and transcendental greed. At that time, we will be able to really hear the depth of their words, and we will be able to experience their mood of separation from Krishna. Absorbed in the gopis' repeated entreaty to place his lotus feet on their breasts, Krishna next argues, "I cannot place my lotus feet on your breasts because your breasts are decorated with so many valuable golden ornaments." To this, the gopis reply with the words śrīnikētanam, which has two meanings. When the emphasis is placed on Niketanam, the phrase śrīnikētanam refers to Sri Krishna's feet being the abode or Niketanam of beauty or Shri. In that regard, the gopis say, "Yes, we admit that our breasts are decorated with many lovely ornaments, but we know that your lotus feet are the very abode of all kinds of beauty, softness, and other pleasing attributes. They are the abode of all 6 auspicious qualities. We believe that our beauty has also come from your lotus feet, so we want your feet to become the greatest ornament of our breasts." When the emphasis is placed on Shri, the phrase śrīnikētanam signifies that Shri or Lakshmi is the abode or Niketan of Krishna's lotus feet. In this regard, the gopis imply, if you are not willing to place your lotus feet on our bodies, why do you place them on the heart of Sri Lakshmi? She always keeps them on her heart in a spirit of service to you. If you can keep them on her heart, then why not on ours? Krishna responds, why should I keep them on yours? Because we are gopis and you are a gopa. Lakshmi is not a gopi, yet you keep your feet there. Having taken birth in the Gopa dynasty, we have the birthright. It is a fact that Srimati Lakshmi Devi does not leave Lord Narayan's lotus feet, not even for a moment, and there is a reason for this. Once, in the form of Vamanadeva, Lord Narayan visited the palace of Bali Maharaj in order to trick him into giving up his kingdom. Bali Maharaj's kingdom consisted of the entire universe of 14 worlds, the upper planetary systems of Bhu, Bhuva, Swa, Maha, Jana, Tapas and Satya, as well as the 7 lower planetary systems. Lord Narayana retrieved that entire kingdom. In the presence of Lord Brahma and Prahlad Maharaj, Lord Narayan gave the planet of Sutala to Bali Maharaj and invited Sri Prahlad to stay for some time in Bali Maharaj's palace. Upon hearing this, Prahlad whispered something in Bali Maharaj's ear that obviously pleased him. Bali Maharaj then turned to Lord Narayan and said, "You have given me Sutal as my residence, and I will obey your order. But I beg something else from you. Please stay with me there. The palace there has 50 doors, and I humbly request you to be at whatever door I pass through, whether I'm entering or leaving. In this way, I will always be able to see you." Lord Narayan agreed to this, and thus he remained in Bali Maharaj's palace. Time passed, and Lakshmi began to wonder why her husband had not returned. "My Prabhu left quite some time ago to trick Bali," she thought, "but still he has not returned home. Where can he be?" Suddenly, Sri Narad Muni appeared before her, and she inquired about her husband's whereabouts from him. Narada related what had taken place. He explained how Lord Narayan had tricked Bali Maharaj and how Bali had in turn tricked Lord Narayana so that he was unable to leave Bali's palace. "Please tell me what I should do," Lakshmi said. Then, under Narad's instructions, Lakshmi assumed the form of an old and poor but very beautiful Brahmin lady and went to Bali Maharaj's palace, where he was giving charity. Amid the clamour of the occasion, Bali Maharaj saw that an elderly lady had entered the palace and was sitting quietly and patiently on a bench at the back of the assembly. While everyone else was pushing forward and jostling each other to take as much charity as they could from him, that Brahmin lady simply sat silently. Bali Maharaj thought, that Brahmani cannot be an ordinary lady, because she is sitting and waiting so patiently. No common person can do this. She must be someone extraordinary. Descending from his throne, he approached the lady and offered his obeisance. "O mother," he said, "who are you and what do you want? It appears that you have a desire for something, but for some reason you're not expressing it. It seems to me that you are seeking an opportunity to see me after everyone has left. Please tell me what you want." "Yes," she said, "I've come to ask for something, but I'm afraid you will not give it to me." "I will give you anything you ask for." "Is that for certain?" "Yes, I will definitely give you whatever you ask for." "Do you give your word that you will do that?" "Yes, I give my word." When Bali Maharaj had promised 3 times, then he will give her what she would ask for. Lakshmi sought further. "You must vow to give me whatever I ask for." Will you do this?" Upon hearing these words, Bali Maharaj remembered how Lord Narayan, in the form of Vamanadeva, had made the same request to him. "Who are you?" he asked. She remained silent and did not reply. Finally he said, "Very well, please tell me what you want." Without saying a word, that Brahmani simply pointed toward Sri Vamanadeva, at which moment Bali Maharaj recognized her as Lakshmi. He became simultaneously overjoyed and sorrowful, fearing that he would now lose his Lord. Bali prayed, "O Sri Narayan, Lakshmi Devi has come to take you away." He said, "But I cannot bear the thought of you leaving. Please make some type of arrangement so that you can simultaneously live here and with Lakshmi." Lord Narayan manifested a second form that would remain with Bali Maharaj, and then, in his original form, he returned to Vaikuntha. From that time on, Lakshmi has been afraid that he might leave her again, and she therefore always holds his feet on her lap and heart. Now, with the words śrīnikētanam, the gopis emphasize the word Shri, which refers to Lakshmi. In this instance, śrīnikētanam means Lakshmi's lap is the abode of your lotus feet. They question Krishna, "Since your lotus feet are the ornaments of Lakshmi's breasts, why can they not ornament ours? They should become the ornament of our hearts." Krishna replies, "You are begging me to do this, but I cannot. Your hearts are burning with too much heat, and if I place my feet on them, that heat will enter my feet and they will be burnt." The gopis respond with the words Fani Fanarpitam. They say, "But you placed your soft, sweet lotus feet on the hoods of the Kaliya serpent. Even though he was biting your chest, feet, and other tender parts of your body, you did not feel any burning sensation then? You then boldly placed your feet on his hoods and performed a wondrous dance there. So why not place your feet on our breasts?" Now, although the gopis have defeated all of Krishna's arguments, he continues presenting his own reasoning and tells them, "I cannot do that. I'm afraid of your husbands. You are not afraid of Kaliya, so we know you cannot possibly be afraid of our husbands. And even if they do disturb you, you will punish them just as you punished Kaliya." Te Padambujam means your lotus feet. The gopis continue, "Your lotus feet have so many beautiful qualities. Krinu Kucheshuna Krindi Hrichayam. Please place them on our breasts and remove the fire of Kama in our hearts. The fire of separation and the longing in our hearts will only subside if we meet with you and you perform cherishable pastimes with us. Sometimes a sick person will apply a medicinal balm or ointment externally to cure a disease inside the body. Similarly, in this verse, the gopis beg Krishna to soothe the fire of separation in their hearts by the ointment of the touch of his lotus feet. The deep meaning here is that the intense heat of Kama actually lies in Sri Krishna's heart, and the gopis long for it to be relieved. But this will not happen unless they meet with him directly, and this is the real motivation for their proposal. When Krishna finally meets with them, the heat of Kama will leave his heart, and the gopi's state of mind expressed here will automatically subside.